Who has the Leslie Smith underdog pick? Who was the Mexican dude and the lesbian chick? Everybody say you mean Lesbo and the Bean.
Welcome back, LaTB 88, feeling great. We got you starting for this whole week. Thank you for being here at Lesbo and the Bean. You got the bean.
On the Lord's Day.
Sunday, the day most people rest. While you guys are resting, we working. We're bringing it to you.
Hard.
Just having some fun facts again. We have 223 right around the corner. I could keep going about that, but if you follow us on Twitter, it is not close enough.
And do you notice everyone's releasing their breakdowns? No one can take it. Everyone's releasing their breakdowns early. Not here at Lesbo and the Bean. We're going to make you wait.
We are going to make you wait.
We're going to make you wait.
We're going to just end up filling your day with some of the stuff that ended up going on over the weekend. There's a ton of MMA news. There's a ton of...
There's things that happen.
Oh, yeah. Fresh off of the presses, we got your boyfriend fighting your other boyfriend.
I saw that.
That got booked.
And I really was like, oh, what am I going to do?
That's a tough-ass fight.
We're talking about Usman and Ponzinibbio.
So, they recently booked a fight in Brazil itself. We have a Chilean fighter.
Is it? Oh, it's in Chile.
It's in Chile?
Oh. Yeah.
No. Is it in Chile?
I think it's in Chile.
Let me see.
Chile.
It is booked for... Chile, you are 100% correct.
It is both my boyfriends.
That's
on the
true.
Card.
Is Ponzinibbio Argentinian or Chilean? So
I thought he was like.
He's Argentinian. I'm almost positive he's Argentinian because there's the Argentinian flag with light blue and the white in the middle. So either way,
so he's not Chilean.
He's not Chilean, but they go into South America, so. You know who the Nigerian Nightmare's coming into hostile territory regardless. That's a hell of a fight. The takedown defense is going to be a huge play in that fight because we know Usman's coming in. Usman. You got to trust us. If you trust in us.
I was about to point. It ain't there.
If you're trusting us, you're subscribing wherever you can on YouTube. What do we have also? Lipson, Peace, City. I don't even know. I'm making them up. There's all sorts of ones.
Uber,
Cracker.
You can find us there.
Right. So, that's a hell of a fun fight. Also, Darren Till himself has finally booked a bout with Wonder Boy Thompson. That's a fun fight, but I would have much rather seen Usman versus Till, honestly. And Ponzinibbio versus Thompson. I think those are way more interesting.
I'm excited about both fights.
I do like them.
It's been so long since I've been excited about a Wonder Boy fight. I'm intrigued.
I was about to say, who do you have off the top of your head on that one? I was leaning Wonder Boy too, honestly. I really like Darren Till, and he deserves to crawl his way up the ranks. Wonder Boy is a motherfucker. I feel like this has happened to quite a few of these guys, Daikesi and other guys that get a couple good wins. They really start talking a big game on Twitter. They start getting all that and thinking that they're going to come in and finish everybody. And all of a sudden you have a Wonder Boy Thompson who's coming off of title contention. So it's a different beast in there.
He just chewed up George Masvidal too, didn't he?
Wonder Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did. And prior to that, he had two specific title belt 5-rounders with T-Wood.
And that's the other thing with Darren Till. I think he's a hard hitter. I think he's definitely going to be a guy to watch in this division for years to come. Probably not this division, honestly. He probably won't be a 170. He'll move up to 185.
He'll move up,
at his age. There's no way Darren Till hits as hard as T-Wood. And I'm pretty impressed with Woodley's chin. I mean, Wonder Boy took a lot of damage in those Woodley fights.
Yeah, he did. I feel like he's a perennial injured guy, though, with Thompson. That fight isn't here yet, so hold your breath. He's getting Thompson being a little bit older now and having a lot of issues.
That's truth, too.
You really got to be fair with him.
But he's not of Cowboys vein yet. But in my opinion.
What can suck with Thompson, which a lot of fighters will say this after the fact, win or lose, it's like, oh, I had an injury going in. And I feel like Thompson's always one of those guys that's like, yeah, I hurt a rib 2 weeks before the fight. And that's another fun one. There's been a few other ones that I'll keep rattling off. Did you happen to catch some of the Twitter stuff that was going around? I feel like
LaTB on Twitter retweeted Lomachenko going on the speed bag, and if you've been listening, you've been hearing what the Bean's saying, and no one else is talking about
I
it.
thought that was so crazy, but you know,
The elbow
the
he
fact
threw?
that you said that, it was right after so many other podcasts kept talking about him for the whole rest of the time, and then that video comes out and it's like all over.
He throws an elbow.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. But with the pattern and rhythm of everything else he had going on, different styles of punches, and then to come around.
He's really elite enough that if he just gets takedown defense, he doesn't have to have any type of a ground game. He will eat people apart, straight up boxing. But it does change the entire game. It does make people all of a sudden in whatever division 145 he's at right now, which he'll probably go up to 55 just because for boxing they have so much time that they really can come down in weight. But who knows? Either way, have other people been saying he's coming to MMA? Because I haven't heard it. I've heard all of the other boxers, but that's where I'm saying the Bean.
On the tip of everyone's tongue. Everyone's had Lomachenko on the tip of their tongue for the last week.
Sure. But
It's
look
like
who he's training
monkeys.
with.
We're all 1,000 monkeys.
We all see it coming. We all see it coming down the pipeline. So, other stuff that ended up going on this weekend. We had Invicta last night. I'm so deprived for fights right now that I watched Invicta and then I had to shower at like midnight because it was dirty. It was dirty ass night of fights.
TMI. I watched Invicta and then I had to shower at like midnight because them girls was fighting.
They were fighting.
They were fighting for my emotions, my heart.
It was.
I was over here playing with my taffy, watching Invicta. That's horrible. And on the night that Elias was the ring card guy.
Debuting Elias, I feel like one championship has had a ring card guy or a couple Asian promotions before, but he's definitely the first guy hired by the UFC because Invicta is hired by the UFC to do it. And I feel like Lesbo has a couple things to say about this certain
kind of
situation.
a problem. I don't give a shit if he wants to be out there, but I think if he wants to be a ring card guy, cool. I am all for it. I am open to, and I understand he wants a little bit on the top because it's not fair that the ladies are covering their nipples. So if he wants to cover his nipples, some
but he's
way,
not covering his nipples.
Yeah, whatever his thing on the top.
Okay.
I don't like that he has sponsors and they don't. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
That's a great point that I didn't think of.
I feel like it's sexist that he's allowed to make extra money out there on top of whatever contract he has for being the ring card guy. I don't care if he's a ring card guy. One other issue, he needs some smaller trunks on.
Oh, really?
I feel like the ladies are bearing it out. They're putting it out there. I want to see a tiny little bit of booty cheek hanging out from Elias.
I don't know if you get local television channels, but here we have the Univision channel, and there is a Survivor in Spanish or Latino, and it's Sobrevividor. Either way, we watch it sometimes. I just tell Jerry, but she doesn't even care because all they wear is the tiniest bikinis, and these are the men. These are Latinos, so they're wearing grape smugglers. But that's what he needs to be wearing in my eyes. He needs to be wearing
I agree.
a tankini,
A banana
not a thong.
hammock, a banana
I don't think he needs a stripe up the back. I think he can cover him cheeks. The girls ain't.
No, a banana hammock.
I know banana hammocks as thongs specifically, and I know
That's a G-string.
I guess. Yeah,
But a
you would.
banana
Yeah, I
hammock
don't know
is
about
just
his
like a
Speedo.
Speedo. Yeah,
Speedo.
a banana hammock.
Okay.
You're just laying the banana, right?
So,
laying the banana
Elias
out.
Noah, come on. You're letting us down, buddy. You're letting us down.
I'm an equal opportunity offender. I am. If you're gonna put it out there, fine. Why do you get the Pennzoil and they don't, or whatever you have on your main event, corny trademarked whatever?
It's definitely interesting the way it's going to go because
and
it opens
there
the door.
is some other dudes I'd rather see do this. And this is something I heard a dude say online, and I actually thought this was a really good point. Hey, Elias, you're a friggin' fighter. Go fight. If they just want to have a hot guy trance across the thing, there's other dudes out there without a job.
That's kind of what I think is like the ring girl's just ring girl. You don't see Paige Van Zandt out there in the middle when she's training. You don't see a bunch of other people. So
you don't see Michelle Watterson walking across with round two.
Right. But if I was Elias Theodoro, I would also be like, what, you want to pay me to do what? Yes. He ain't telling you how much, because he's also sponsored by Per Plus. He's also got all this, like, he's making buku dollars. He's definitely, as far as other fighters.
I don't think he's making buku dollars
Really?
if he was desperate enough to have to ring Card Boy.
I think he realizes
Like,
that.
I don't think there's an amount of money you're going to go to with certain fighters because they're fighters. It's like the same as acting. It's like a lot of them, you know, they get offers for other things and they're like, no, I'm a fighter. I'm too busy with this right now. And we talk about it all the time when we see certain guys in the chair too much, even on Fox.
Mhm.
Like, hey, Dom seems to be in the chair a lot. I don't know if I want to, you know, like, I didn't have Dom in that last fight before he pulled out because of how much I've seen him on Fox. I don't think you can do when you're a fighter, I really think it takes a lot of responsibility and a lot of time. I don't know. Maybe Elias can take a little bit of that out of, never mind. I'm going to just be a hater. I'm just going to be a hater. I don't mind it. I just, whatever.
Just
There's
equal opportunity.
Yeah. Equal. It should all just be same.
Hey, how about this? I'll meet you in the middle. Ring girls don't have to wear tops either. Bam. You're welcome. So,
I don't care about that. That's fine. They can be tits out.
that's what I'm saying. That brings the
my-
views in. That's what I'm saying.
That I think. Hey, ladies, you all got together to do your 10 billion lady march or whatever, and no one could agree. You all finally got there. Everybody's out and about with their pussy hats and their, you know, whatever they got going on. Take your titties out, and everyone will listen. I think tits out, and you want things to be equal. Tits out.
So, other fun news.
Would it change the kind of ring girl style? Because a lot of the ring, there's not a bunch of Tata. Like Misha Tate has bigger boobs than all the ring cards.
No, there's definitely some heavy hitters. There's some ring card girls that have got some implants in there for sheezy. That they say they don't, but they do. Ariane, she grew like 6 sizes all of a sudden from her first few fight cards. So
look at Elias, you have got us into dangerous territory. Damn it.
Other fun stuff though over the weekend. Speaking about ladies, we're gonna go back into the fight world a little bit deeper with your girl's girl, the little baby Shev, coming into the motherfucking game on the Contender Series. We got baby Shev, gonna tear it up. She's bigger than big Shev, but she's nasty in the Muay Thai game.
Antonia. She's bigger.
She's taller, I mean.
Oh, okay. What does she fight at?
I think she's might be 35 or she might be up in that range. I don't know, but she's fighting in the Contender Series, so there's going to be there's a bunch of guys coming in. They're about to do a whole nother.
She's going to be very dangerous in that series.
She's training. Who do you think she's training with?
I know. Rose, whoever Chef's
Cyborg, exactly. Champions, which is another good point.
Can I tell you something that amused me about Valentina Shevchenko? 2 things, actually. One, I finally got her name, the Bullet. I finally got her name. Like, it finally made sense to me over the weekend. Do you get it?
I guess. Valentina Shevchenko.
But the Bullet?
I get the bullet, yeah. It's the most dangerous part. It'll kill you.
No, this... Have you ever heard of, like, a bullet and a Valentine? Or Valentine with a bullet? That, like, saying... There used to be this saying that was something about a Valentine and a bullet. Like, I don't know if it was an old mafia saying or whatever. I could probably look it up and be more specific about it. Or maybe you can tell us on Twitter or email us. But, yeah, I thought it was very... because her name's Valentina. Like, Valentine and a bullet. The bullet, Valentine. Anyway, the other thing I was going to say about her that I thought was really funny, so on Saturday, like, the whole country marches for anti-guns. Not the Shevchenko sisters.
Hell no.
Not the Shevchenko sisters. It was awesome. It just made me impressed with them.
Is it interesting that people that are marching against weapons are protected by cops with weapons? Just saying.
Well, isn't that the same as the politicians?
100%. 100%. Either way, I'm excited for Baby Shev. She's going to make a stink in the rink, and we're going to end up cashing a big money. A big money.
Everyone's going to know.
Yeah,
everyone knows about Shevchenko now.
It's true.
It was a hidden secret for a little while.
It's true,
now,
it's true.
The secret is out. Everyone knows she is probably, in my opinion, well-rounded women in the UFC.
I think a lot of people would say that, especially now.
I know everybody
the
says
Johnny
Cyborg's the greatest, but I'm just like, give Shevchenko a little bit of time.
Give her a little bit of time. Maybe she can prove herself. She might have a Joanna title run at 125.
I don't think that Shevchenko has the finishes in her career that would make her... Because people love those finishes, and Cyborg has gone to decision now, and...
Before Joanna lost that fight, no one put Cyborg with Joanna in best female fighter. Everyone was pretty in agreement that it was Joanna.
Yeah.
And I feel like Shevchenko has the opportunity at 125 to have that kind of run. She knows she needs that title for a bit if she ever can see Amanda Nunes again, and she wants that fight. She knows she needs the title to ever see her again. And then think of how crazy that is. A 125er, for all intents and purposes, Amanda Nunes, it's going to be hard for press for her to make the 135. I think she's a natural 145, and I actually think at 145, she's a scary fight for Cyborg, and she could end up being a comfortable title contender there.
Mm-hmm.
Now think of Shevchenko at 125. She gave her a run for her money fighting in the middle, and that's a significantly bigger woman. And they looked, Nunes looked bigger than Shevchenko in the ring.
Definitely way, way, way bigger.
We love the Shevchenko.
We love the Shev. Everybody knows that.
We pull my taffy.
Go get in the shower after the show. So
another midnight shower after I watch the Shevchenko sisters on YouTube.
There was, though, a couple flash knockouts, some interesting prospects on Invicta. I recommend, even though I talk a lot of shit on it, I recommend watching it. And on these weekends without UFCs, watching some of the younger prospects, there was some gems, a lot of disgusting knockouts over the weekend that were good and bad. I want to say disgusting in the sense that there was a couple suplexes that knocked mofos out. Suplex City, Weekend City, people going down. But then there was also a really disgusting showing by a young man, and I don't know the organization. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but this 23-year-old debut fighter, pro fighter, ended up winning the fight in the heavyweight division because his opponent went for a takedown as a off of a kick.
Organization?
Let me look it up real quick just so that I do.
Oh, okay. You don't. I just knew you watched the Invicta, and then I'm like, did you watch another whole fight?
No, I just ended up seeing this clip because the internet has been going crazy. I do feel like we retweeted it because it was gross. This heavyweight ended up knocking out the front flip off of the knocked out fighter. This ended up happening. So the heavyweight knocked down the 23-year-old fighter, and then as he came down for a hammer fist, he knocked himself out on the younger fighter's knee, and then the younger fighter actually got up and jumped with both feet on the other heavyweight's back and flipped off of him. This was a access fight. This was the LFA organization. So the LFA organization always has fed into the UFC heavily, and UFC is taking note of this. He was disqualified, and
as well he should be, and suspended for a while.
He's going to be suspended for at least 90 days. A lot of people are calling for like 2 years, if not a lifetime ban, because he has actually multiple infractions. Not only does he have a fighter who was in the ref's care because it was waved off with a knockout, then he touched a fighter in ref's care. He hit a fighter that had been deemed KO, and then the third one was after the bell, he hit another fighter, is just kind of what they're going at right now with it, but they're loading it up. He's already come out and said, I'm sorry, guys, in the heat of the moment, I didn't know what I was doing. Usually when I celebrate as a heavyweight, I do cartwheels and flips, and I just reacted in his debut. If a fighter's doing this, his first fight ever as a pro,
we don't have space for that. Where have you ever seen anybody else do that? What would give you the first your first instinct is to do something you've never seen anybody else do?
And if that's your first instinct, when you're hurt in other fights like this, just as a predecessor that this might happen again, I'm on one of those people that's talking about a 2-year ban potentially. For life, maybe not. People can be redeemed, but 2 years will make you think of whether you want to be an MMA fighter or not. 2 years, you're going to have to train for 2 years without getting a fight, and it was just really unfortunate that had to happen, because that's how other people are going to be like, look at this fighter. He jumped off another guy's back when he's knocked out. Or you bring the numbskulls that are just like, yeah, he kicked his ass. And I don't need either of those people up in my business.
Yeah, I don't want that kind of sport.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no room. Go do that in the WWE.
100%. 100%.
Some guy wrote online, great, you Canadian good fight it, dude. That was so gay. Invicta fucking ring boy. Let's hope they don't drink ring boys to, or bring ring boys to UFC or Strikeforce, or I'll quit watching.
We don't want you. We don't want you.
I wouldn't even care what a sloth could roll. Just the ring card could just get pulled across on a string. Nothing. I don't care.
Yeah, the person, how it gets around.
I don't care at all.
Yeah, you agree. There's other issues going on there when people are that dramatic about such an insignificant thing.
I wonder if that guy would feel that way if Matt Hughes was the ring card guy.
Right.
Not sexy, just in a t-shirt, just being like an old fighter walking out like, woo! Every time round 2 was Matt Hughes walking across. Yeah! This is my other question about ring cards, just the logistics. Do we go in, like, if we're ring card girls, do we go in order, or are you always round 1? Where,
There's
so,
sets.
like, if
Some
you're
people-
round 1 and that bitch is round 3, she might never get up this fight, but round 1 gets up every fight. So it's like there a hierarchy
Not every
to
fight.
be a round 1 girl?
Yeah, there is, because she walks them in and it rocks around.
So,
the first
like,
time.
so is there a hierarchy to being round 1 girl, or is the sweet spot round 2 girl?
I've
Because
heard-
too much going on in round
I've
1.
heard ring card girls talk about this on podcasts. So that's what I do when I don't have UFC to watch over the weekends. And they say that they'll all talk. Usually they talk and will decide whether they want to stay in order, mix it up, where each fight they'll like stutter it, like you do this fight, round 1, this fight you'll do 2 and 3. Or they'll stick in the lineup if one's like, I want to do thirds only, like it depends on seniority. So Ariane's a little...
idea, or we could do this idea where you can have this whole fight where you're like, maybe it could go all 3 rounds, or it could be a first round.
And then the next one,
finish.
yeah,
And
that's a
the
good
next
point.
one you gotta sit out.
But yeah, the judges don't care. UFC don't care. They're just like, get the tits up there. Let's go. Like, they don't give a shit.
Get the titties on parade. Come on,
Let's
girls.
go. Getting back to the ring girls. I like it. I like it. Or ring people now.
Ring
They're
people.
Ring people. So, with people, I think you got me a little bit off on our YouTube. If you are liking and subscribing, hitting that bell on YouTube. The last fight that I was talking about with the last guy that beat Diego Sanchez should get a fight. I was talking about Matt Brown.
No one knows what you're talking about. If they don't remember.
Unless if this is an
is
Easter
inside
egg.
joke.
This is an Easter egg for all the fans. So it was a Matt Brown reference. I wasn't making no. Who was his other Sanchez? Little baby Sanchez, egg Sanchez that he beat in there at the Winklejohn gym. So either way, saw some good photos of Diego Sanchez with the National Down Syndrome buddy he has there, with also the other fighter who's had one official fight that he doesn't have any limbs at all, and had an amateur fight, and that one was a little hard to watch. That one was rough because the other guy, yeah, I don't recommend it. There's a ton of other stuff. Ton of other good stuff to watch.
I recommend limbs and at least your arms.
Right.
Your arms to
Or
fight.
exactly.
I'm looking to see if there's any other news going on.
There's been a few other fights. We did already talk about the Edgar Swanson being rebooked, which doesn't make any sense. It's a little soon. Little soon for that one.
Yes, Edgar doesn't need that at all. There's the Ortega Max, which the more I think
We
about
all
that
knew
fight,
that was going to happen.
I don't like this for Brian. But there's no other fight for Max right now in the division.
Of course. So, what's the other intro belt
Oh, you know
talk?
what? I have heard Colby
That's
RDA.
That's right. You're 100%
Yeah.
sure. That is right. That is a fun one. That's a
Dos Anjos
real
versus
big step
Colby
up.
Covington.
That's a real big step up. RDA versus Colby. A lot of people
RDA
have
at
gone and shown
170 all day over Colby, in my opinion.
That's a really interesting fight. Colby's looked better than I...
I'm not impressed with. I am not impressed. I am not impressed.
I think there's money to be made on both sides of that. That's actually a pretty close fight. I do think that RDA is going to be the favorite, though, obviously, due to being a contender and how good he's been looking.
So you think Colby's a good underdog in that fight?
I think he has more of a shot than people are going to generally give him credit for. I don't think he's going to get blown out of the water. People are going to be saying that RDA is going to murder him everywhere, and Colby can stifle the ground and has a evolving striking game that is getting better. Maya got him a couple times, though, and Maya ain't that good. So, yeah,
That good.
the gas tank he has also benefits him.
RDA isn't a power striker either. He's like a...
At 70, he might be, though.
He didn't seem like, I mean, with Robbie or with Lawler,
Yeah.
he just, I mean, how many punches did he
Both of them, mate.
have to throw at Lawler to really not get too many places? I actually think Robbie Lawler right now, at this phase of Robbie Lawler, is the better fight for Colby Covington. That I see him winning.
That's for Robbie to beat Colby?
No, Colby to beat Robbie.
That's a great call, and I would say that would
If
probably
I'm
be likely.
Colby's management,
Yep.
I think it's also a bigger name for him to crumble
True.
in the sport
True,
to
true,
the
true.
not so diehards. But I'm excited about that fight. I think that whole division right now, holy hell, what's going on at 170? And then they're making an interim for Woodley, and he's only been injured for 8 months.
So that's what I was going to say. There was more interim talk, but I couldn't think of it off the top of my head.
It's
and
the
it is.
RDA versus Colby.
That's the interim belt?
Yes.
That's garbage.
It doesn't make
That's
sense.
trash. Absolute trash. Dana White and T Wood have had issues for a while now. Those guys have definitely not been getting along, and it's not benefiting freaking T Wood at all. He's definitely not getting paid by not getting in there, but he might be coming off of an injury as well.
Also, the fights he's been asking for, honestly, since he first won, he's like, I've defended it so many times and I still can't get my money fight. But you've been asking for the money fight since you first got the belt. Right away, since you first got the belt. And the guy has defended, I feel like, a lot more than a lot of the other champions. I mean, him and Max Holloway have got to be up there. I feel like there was something like Tyrone Woodley defended like 4 times in like 16 months or something. Maybe it was 3 times in a year. But whatever. The 170s heating up.
It is. It's getting some fun
I don't
wins
know.
in
What
there.
else is going on?
Sean Strickland also just recently got a bout signed. Who did he have a fight card that I'm definitely excited for? As I find that one, Gary Tonin recently debuted in one championship. He, out of Asia, it was one he ended up winning via TKO when most people think he's a ground strike. He's a Abu Dhabi and a ground specialist, but he really is a Danaher Death Squad guy who's revolutionizing the game. That whole crew is with leg locks and submissions. But he's really been talking that Ben Askren style. He went to one where the UFC has given him already offers because he's so good at jiu-jitsu and a strong guy, and he's won a bunch of EBIs as well. But Tonin has come out and said, Asia's offering me way more money, and I need to cut my teeth anyways, and then when I'm making all that money, then I'm going to go to the UFC because now I can say, they were paying me this. The UFC wants to start him against other fucking monsters, which we say all the time.
It's the worst thing. We're never going to see Sage Northcutt get any... We're never going to see him become this great guy that everybody thinks just because he's young. Because he's going up against 2 great of guys.
Which, on some guys, they're starting to cater to, but the fans are so rabid at this point in these leagues that people talk a lot of shit when you don't get the mega fight, when you don't get the hardest fight against you. When you're taking kind of easy shots, some people might say. So, Tonin ended up having a really good debut. That one championship fight card in general, these Asian fighters are really stepping it up. I really liked some of their takedown defense and other really, really good evolving studies. A lot of Americans are going over there now and definitely showing them what's the what. For Strickland, his next fight is going to be that's Sam Alvey versus John Vellante. God.
Good. I like Sam Alvey in that fight.
Versus Vellante. Did we talk about that one?
I think we did.
I think we did, and I do have him as well.
I think everything. It's almost like I don't even know. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of news to come out. I don't know what we're going to talk about Wednesday. And then Sunday after that. And then Wednesday.
Then the breakdown show.
I was almost thinking...
Do we do it Sunday because we'll have enough
week,
time?
Well, no, I was thinking on that Sunday, what about if we did the prelims, and then on Wednesday we did the main card?
I'm not opposed to that. We have enough time. And I've already picked my card. I couldn't wait till then. I've been
I just think there's enough to talk about in the main card that we could fill a whole episode and maybe just do our prelim on the Sunday and just do the preliminary card breakdown and release it separately that week. Maybe shoot them on separate days, maybe the same.
Right. Either. Well, let us know. Yeah, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah, let us know what you want. How detailed? It would be more detailed that way. I feel, and there's so many good fights on that card. I think time-wise, it would be smart.
Absolutely stacked. Any last things? I think this is a short one. This is not an opinions and assholes. This is a ring person extraordinaire episode.
I know. Maybe that's what we'll have a picture of Elias Thurdo walking across holding a Lesbo and the Bean sign. That'll be what we put as our... he's the right guy to do it, though, because he is corny and laughs at himself.
Agreed. He's been taking it on the chin.
Hard. Yeah, it's like immediately the first thing that a lot of homophobes are like, that's so gay, I won't watch it. Like a guy that says I won't watch anymore,
right.
It's because he doesn't want to see everyone see him get a boner. That's
what I think, that guy's got other issues going on. But with Elias, when people are like, ew, I hate this, he's a UFC fighter. How much manlier can you get? Regardless.
That is a good point. It's like I want him to do something else, but if they just had some model go out there, people would throw cans at him.
Right.
But because everyone's like, oh, that's Elias. He's KO'd people. He's fought with some great guys.
Yeah, he's a good...
We respect him. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I guess.
So,
hats off to you, Spartan.
Thank you very much.
Make sure you're liking and subscribing everywhere. You can go to lesboandthebean.com, go to our Twitter, lesboandthebean, or lesboandthebean@gmail. And we love you and appreciate your likes and your listens.
Lesbo and the Bean!
Living they dream, Lesbo and the Bean. Who's that still smoking all the green? Lesbo and the Bean. Come on, y'all, let me hear you scream. Lesbo and the Bean.